In this video, I will show you how to define the map content projection, how to add the Massachusetts Census tract shapefiles and the Tenure 2022 Excel Workbook, and how to join that data and then export the shapefile out as a feature class. So the first thing we want to do is, if we look here at our map and we go to Properties, the coordinate system it's using right now is WGS 1984, Web Mercator. We want to use the Massachusetts state plane. So to do that, we can go and have this website where we can go in and we can click on Massachusetts, and it will give us the EPSG for finding this Massachusetts state plane data. We want to use NAD, which stands for North America Datum 1983, and we want to do our work in feet. So if I just copy this, go to ArcGIS Pro and open up the properties, put it in the search. So you can just type in this number, 6492, hit enter, and here comes up the Massachusetts state plane, and we can say apply, say okay. So now we are using this map projection. So if we add in our tracts to start with, you'll notice if we open up here, properties, and go to source, spatial reference, this data that is downloaded, this shapefile that's downloaded from the census, does not have a projection. What it does have is a geographic coordinate system, which is NAD 83. And as long as it has a geographic coordinate system and our map has a projection, things will line up on that. So we have that. And now what we want to do is we want to add our tenure data. So here you can see I have the tenure data saved as a .xlsx file. Click the drop down, and this is the table we want to open. Sometimes joining data and getting data from census can be tricky. If you open up the attribute table, generally speaking, if the value is lined up on the right side of the column, that means it's numeric, which was what we want. If it is lined up on the left side, that means it's text. You cannot make a choropleth map or any type of map with numeric data that is not designed or is not stored as numeric. See, this is stored as double. This is stored as text. So it's important to pay attention to which side your data is lining up on. And so far, at least this is looking good. The next thing we want to do is, let's go back here. We need to join the data. So we need to join this table to these census tracts. To join data, you need to have a common key. That is, you need a column in the tract file that is the same as in the Excel file. Now the header name does not matter what it's called. What matters is the data that is in there. Is it the same? So let's look at GeoID here and GeoID FQ here. So this is the same data. The header is different, that doesn't matter, but the data itself is the same. So we can join the data based off of these columns. So we can go here, right click, and go to joins and relates, add join. So as a helpful hint, if you always kind of put your cursor over the blue eye and it says the layer or table view which will join. So we're going to join to the census tract. We are going to join the census tract. Remember, it was the GeoID FQ. We are going to join this table that we added over here, and it just recognizes that this is the common field to join on, which is correct. Then we can say OK. And then the data should be joined. So if we go here, we open up our attribute table. In GIS, all joins are added to the very end of the shapefile or feature class that you joined it to. So for us, we would have to scroll all the way to the end here, and here you can see our data. Notice here, everything is looking good. It's lined up on the left. If we put our cursor over here, it's saying double. Double is a text, not text, is numeric data. Everything is looking good. It's lining up. It's lining up. So we will be able to map all this data. So we have our data joined. Now what we want to do is we want to export this shapefile into our geodatabase as a feature class. So to do that, we would right click, data, and export. So let's give this, make sure that always important is to make sure this is, which this would go away, to our geodatabase. And it's going to our geodatabase here. Click out of here. So let's give this a different name, right up to the backslash. We will call it, let's call it Mass Tenure, and we'll call it 2022 and CT for census tracts. So Massachusetts tenure for whether it's occupied or not occupied, ownership, and the data, and then we can say okay. Oh, so now I just let's do something here. I just made a mistake, so this is good. We can go backwards. If you look at this, we open up properties, go to source, spatial reference. Notice that it's still in NAD 83. We don't want that. We wanted the Massachusetts State Plane. I messed up. That's okay. You can go okay. I can remove this from our table of contents. I can go to our geodatabase where we exported it out. Here it is. Just highlight that, right click, delete. And now it's deleted. So what we need to do is go back here and we can go to export, export features. And again, we'll do the same thing, except for we'll do something else before we go. So I'll put Mass and Tenure 2022 CT. So now what I forgot to do, the very important, is go to environments. And under the output coordinate system, this is the coordinate system that we are going to give our new mass tenure data. And we want to use the current map, because this is what we just set at the very beginning, correct? And there it is. So now we're set, and we can say okay. There's our new feature class. Here's our feature class. And now remember last time we was not correct. Now it's correct. So if you do make a mistake like that, you can always go in and just delete the data. So okay, so now we can remove this because we don't need that anymore, and then save the project.